What I first want to show here is the method of how I assembled these pictographs. Now, I briefly explained in the first video that the first point of the method was that I had discovered there was 7 symbols with the same base shape, and then there was 6 symbols with the same base shape. I decided to line them up in a pattern, kind of the way the musical scale is in a pattern, and I had noticed that before when I was researching that subject about musical notes, and I don't even know the proper language to discuss it really, but what I was trying to find out was more information about the levels of vibration, the resonance associated with the notes. And the reason I was doing that, you can look up here and, oh, wrong way. Look up here and you can see where I had taken the number 8 and I cubed it, 8 times 8 times 8, and it came out with 512. Just so happens, Lee, that's on the resonance scale and the musical scale, and that's why I was doing that. So anyhow, I come up with this thought that maybe there's an association with that musical scale and Jesus and his 12 apostles. And the notion being is that at each level there was a different training that occurred, and there was a different purpose of the apostle. Now, in the middle here, this hay symbol, which also represents the Holy Spirit, and the reason it does that is because of the symbolic meaning of it, meaning to reveal. That is what the Holy Spirit does, to reveal. And also I do believe the original pictograph, this picture here, is showing us what is called the spirit dance. And people know how tribes, even today still, they do dances in order for spirits to reveal things to them. And I believe that's what occurred in ancient times also. But what I had done was, when I discovered these 7 base shapes, which in the hay symbol, this is the base shape. Starting at this location, where every pictograph starts at this location, on either this side or this side. Every single one of them start at that same location. Now with this base shape, it goes down 2 notches, over 2 notches, and up 2 notches. With this base, it goes straight across 4 notches. And then, as you see, the pattern continues. Down 2, over 2, up 2, across 4. Down 2, over 2, up 2, across 4. Down 2, over 2, up 2. And the same pattern on the other side, because I took, again, what was 7 base shapes and 6 base shapes and combined them. So each end ends off with the down 2, over 2, up 2, as you see. And so they neatly were placed in there, systematically. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is this was systematic. This wasn't random, where I decided, well, you know, I'm going to place this here and that there and that there and that there and that there. I didn't do that. Now, here is the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first 12 symbols. As you see, I had been drawing and changing these a little bit to come up with base shapes. I purposely tried to find base shapes so that I could teach people how to do these drawings. So when I decided to line these all up and see what happens, and then I decided that this looks like the Last Supper, I started at the beginning, which is the A, and this is that base shape, okay? Which you see right here, the A. I started there, okay? Then I just followed along and said, okay, where's the first one that has a course of 4? And that was the Tsar. So I put that there. So I went on to my second base shape of the down 2, over 2, up 2, and I placed that third in line. Then I found my second one in line with the 4 across, and I placed that there. And then, the third one with the down 2, over 2, up 2, place that in place. And again, I went to my third one. Where is it? Oh, the R. See, the R is not 4 across. I went to my third one with 4 across. It was the La, and I put that in place. And then it came up with the fourth, down 2, over 2, up 2, which is the Hey, which puts it precisely in the middle. And I'm doing this because I want to show you that I didn't just totally fabricate this out of nowhere. This is systematic. This is a pattern. And that's all I'm doing is I'm seeking out these patterns that occur. I didn't create these. I'm just seeking out patterns. And, as I continue on, the next one with line of 4 straight in a row is the Sa. So there's the Sa. I have to go back to the other page, but the next one with the down 2, over 2, up 2 is the Wa. And then the next one with the 4 across is the Ku, which is right here. And then the next one with the down 2, over 2, up 2 in line is the Ta, or the Te rather. And then we got the Ta is the next one in line. Oops, see, I had changed the Ta because I had the cross sticks like this. Now it doesn't really appear like that, but that's the way it fit within this scheme. And I was thinking and thinking and thinking about it. I said, you know something? This word means covenant. And covenant's like drawing a line in the sand. So I didn't see anything wrong with putting a straight line across and then just right in the middle putting it across, like drawing a line in the sand, making a mark, making the seal, making a statement. So I felt that that was appropriate to do that. And then the last one was the Ka, which was down 2, over 2, up 2. As you see, I had changed that. It was sharp like a set of teeth before. But that's when I was thinking that it was a palm, as in palm leaves, not the palm of a hand. And that's where the picture comes in. Because that was one of the first things I noticed was in the Last Supper picture that the person at this very end of the table was the only person to have their open palm on the table. And I thought, hey, isn't that something? That symbol means open palm, and that's the only person with their open palm on the table. And like I said, this represents the Holy Spirit, which is the Hey, which is the seating that Jesus had. And I thought, you know something? I'm starting to think that there's a system to this. So I looked at the opposite end of the table. And this is the A, which is also known as first, leader. It's an ox head. It was actually representative of the god named El, the bull god. So I looked at that end of the table. I looked at the person sitting at that end of the table. And the person at that end of the table was Simon the Zealot. And I looked at the way that Leonardo da Vinci painted him, and he had this authoritarian look to his face, and he had the people near him looking towards him, like looking for leadership. And I thought, you know something? There's something in this. Leonardo da Vinci either, I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but every single person in the Last Supper painting has a characteristic of one of these pictographs. Every single one of them. Now, I made a list today, and I put it off to the side here somewhere. And the list today were the names of the apostles that was sitting with Jesus. And I learned some things when I was going through this list. Now, starting from here, this would be where Bartholomew sat, and this would be the seat of James of Alphaeus, which was also known as James the Less. And another interesting thing is James was a Greek name that came from the name Jacob, which was that was something brand new for me to learn. And I thought, now this is getting even more interesting because now I'm learning even something more. So this is good. This exercise is good. So then we had Andrew. Andrew sat at this seat, and Judas Iscariot sat at this seat. And Judas, the name of Judas, came from the word Judah, or the name Judah, which many people might not know that. So I figured I'd throw that in there. So Judas is actually equal to Judah. And where was Judas sitting at? He was the coup, which was the sunset. This is a picture of a sunset. And in the portrait, Judas is the darkest skinned person in the portrait. And I thought, you know something? That shows what sunset means, is a darkening. And I thought, you know, there really, really is a system in place here when Leonardo painted this. And again, I don't know if he used these pictographs or not. He very may well have. Anyhow, so continuing in the line, after Judas was Peter, which was sitting in the Wa position, and then we had John and Jesus and Thomas. And there's another interesting thing about Thomas, is Thomas, and I discovered this information, Thomas also means twin. And the same word in Aramaic that meant twin was used for the name of Thomas. But he was further known as Didymus Judas Thomas. So we had another Judas, another Jacob in here. Because it was Didymus Judas Thomas, which was also known as a twin. But in a book titled, where is it? Thomas the Contender, which is something I never heard of before. But it hints that Jesus is Thomas's twin. Now, whether that's symbolic notion or physical notion, I don't really know. But I just thought it was an interesting correlation because Judas Thomas is being said to be a twin of Jesus in that writing. And Judas, as I discovered, means Jacob. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know what all this information means. This is just some stuff that I've been learning along the way. So in the next line, what do we got here? We got James the Great, or Greater, which is we got James the Less. Where do we have him in line? Oh, I lost my place here. We had James the Less at this position. Then we got James the Greater down the other end, which is here. So we got James the Greater and James the Less. Excuse me. And again, James meant Judah. No, I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. Judas meant Judah. I'll look back at my notes. James was equal to Jacob. Okay. James was equal to Jacob, which is at the door. But anyhow, the next one in line is Cha, which was Philip. And then at the Ba, which was Matthew. And then at the Za, which was Jude, which is another name that came from the name Judah. And at the A position, again, was Simon the Zealot. That's just some more information that I've recovered for this puzzle that I'm working on.